Each week, Val and Amber make royal predictions and track breaking news headlines.
Piper pipe. Is this having something to do with Neptunian types of things? It could be the first few days of May.
May 1st, Sandringham estate closes due to a broken pipe, and on May 15th, Gloucester residents are flabbergasted at 2 large pipe bursts, sending thousands of gallons of water 50 feet into the air.
We've got Aries here. It seems like there's going to be a fire. Where is this fire going to affect?
But it's like people have to flee. People have to run for safety. Emperor, I mean, these are world leaders.
May 11th, a car explodes outside Prime Minister Keir Starmer's property in an arson attack, explaining the May 5th chariot clue, the symbol of a car.
Welcome to World Predictions and Royal Revelations. I'm Astrologer Val Evans, and it is Friday, May 23rd, and Amber with Taurus Moon Tarot and I are here to read charts and cards and review future news headlines and royal events. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to get your weekly notifications and hit that notification bell. Our show airs every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. GMT. And if you're new here, welcome to the show. The content here is Royal Watchers or for Royal Watchers. And we also show you how to break down your own solar return chart. So it's going to show you how to make monthly and yearly predictions for yourself. So Prince William and King Charles are today. We're going to look at their charts. So a special thanks to our replay crew and our members who make this show possible, the valedictorians. And if you'd like to become one and support us, please click the join button and get some member-only content. I'm holding a forensic astrology class tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, and that class is listed on my site. All right, so I'm just going to show you a couple of things. Welcome, everyone. I've got a Karen Reed trial prediction, and that's tomorrow. And I'm going to be talking more about Chloe's evil partner prediction. So we're going to get into Aquarius. And before we do that, because it's really a big theme of the show, I am going to welcome Amber in, one of my favorite Aquariuses. Hello, Amber.
I can't believe it. This is the card I have for today.
Oh my God. Do you have to spy? Like, is somebody hacking into my presentation?
No.
That's crazy. Well, yeah. And here is, I'm going to just share this real quick. Some of the things that we look at when we're looking at Aquarius in charts, and we try to put the words together and make a sentence, in a sense, to try to decode the chart. So we're going to do that for a little bit. Before we start, though, I feel like we haven't gotten an update on Cody, which he's got to have some Aquarius, your dog, or Cookie. So how are they doing?
They're doing great. They love the sunny weather. They love their new yard. So they're outside lounging like lizards at the moment.
I love it. To be them.
Yeah. Yes.
And are they sensing anything in the house lately?
Cody still watches the front door. He lays in an awkward position and faces the door just inches away from it. And he's not a dog that bolts the door ever. If I open the door wide, he will not leave the front threshold. So it's odd to me that he lays there and just watches the door, which has opened a couple of times on its own.
On its own, yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice to feel protected.
Yeah. He's got a big bark.
Exactly. Gibson, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Helps out a lot. Nan, nice to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. And I know, Jen, that's too funny. Changing your phone autocorrect from Chloe to Kylie. I wonder what that means. Valerie from Ireland, nice to see you. And Okay, so let's talk about Aquarius for a second. It could mean we're seeing a lot of it coming in. And we were talking last week about a farm, remember? And
Yes.
there were like two farms, and we weren't sure exactly what that meant. Now, Mercury and we were looking at Mercury, can often mean an announcement or report. So, a report about forest fires came out this past week. So, we were kind of talking about forest fires there, as well as you were mentioning a library and that horrible terror attack on the Israeli embassy workers in front of it was a museum. And what housed the museum? The Martin Luther King Jr. Library. And you had said an old library, which
Yeah.
just gives me chills. So I have a part 2 to that I want to get into. But what's also kind of crazy about Aquarius is that it represents the eyes. So if I see somebody's solar return chart and they're like, can you tell me how my health is doing? I'll look at their 6th house. If it's in Aquarius, I'll ask about their eyes often.
Yes.
And so that factors into the health.
Yeah.
And the funnest thing about Aquarius is that it represents the future and it represents predictions.
Yeah.
So one of the things we like to make. This is something that kind of ties in the suicide element, which is really the negative side of Aquarius, to the eyes. And so now there's this big study that's been reported in this past week about people, especially this Pennsylvania police officer who got LASIK and then had suicidal ideation. So you can see how the code kind of interlaps sometimes. And it is not it's not great news for a lot of people who have gone through LASIK, but it also shows that there's truth that's coming out that could be helpful to people. So
Yeah.
the times also ran, we were talking about weather, and I'm not sure if we were saying anything about heat, but the general theme in the last couple of weeks were how everything is heated up.
Yep.
We've got so much Pisces, so it makes sense that there would be temperatures that were above average, but marine temperatures.
Yeah.
And the farms, remember, it was like, we were like, what kind of farm? Well, of course, Aquarius, Mercury, the air signs, Gemini, and Uranus all represent wind. So we were seeing wind farms.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into omens and symbols for a little bit, and we're seeing a lot of planes. Are you seeing a lot of planes? I mean, it's really been like this for a while, but especially the past week, Britain's warned of travel chaos at 3 UK airports as major European airline cancels more than 1,400 flights. I think that was Swiss Air. And then also UK cracks down on disruptive air travel with strict penalties. And the One Too Many campaign dropped this past week, which means, I think 3 strikes and you're out kind of thing. I didn't really read into it. I'm not a disruptive traveler, so I didn't really care too much. We're seeing, of course, lots of stuff about Trump's plane. This is Trump's old plane. He's always been associated with helicopters and planes and skyscrapers and that kind of thing, which I think is interesting. But lots of controversy on that plane. And we have Brittany behaving badly. And you know something? I've been doing some deep thoughts here. And I think to myself, and for those of you who see this channel as entertainment, I think you're going to appreciate this. Otherwise, you're going to think this is crazy. But I feel like when Brittany's in a bad place, so is the U.S., because she's a symbol in a sense. She's like the all-American girl.
Yeah.
And we don't want to see her in a bad place. And so she was just talked to or spoken to by federal authorities because apparently she lit up a cigarette on a private plane. And the pilots, they wanted nothing to do with it. I'm sure it was a little bit more than that too, maybe behavior or something like that. But just for fun, I thought I'd pull up her chart real quick. She has, and this is anybody who's in their 40s range. It's tough because Uranus is in an opposition with your natal Uranus. This means you are changing. It's the midlife quote crisis where everything kind of shifts. And for her, she's going through that, but she has Uranus and Mercury. Wow. At the, like, it's conjunct. I mean, it's a 5-degree orb. It kind of explains her voice, because what does Uranus mean? It means up high. Mercury is to speak. She speaks high. She's like a soprano. But anyway, you can see that Uranus there opposing. This is transit Uranus coming over her Uranus, and Uranus is right on her 3rd house of transportation. So of course we're going to be, just wait, you're going to see, I bet, more media about maybe airplanes. And I hope not. I hope not. We pray for Brittany. So we've got today's show chart, and I just thought I'd pull it for fun just to see what we can do as hosts of this show. It's the show in general. It's the show chart. So we're going to look at Venus, and there's Libra. So there's really our content, and it's kind of like us.
Yeah.
We're also going to look at the 3rd house, which is discussion. What are we going to be discussing? This could be something that's Sagittarius. Well, we're Americans talking about England, and the 9th house rules the press. So we always like to follow the press. And you know how we've been talking about a lot of twins or 2 things. So maybe something's going to be coming of that. And it's also talking about, too, 9th house is foreign. Mercury is news, foreign media, foreign news, foreign television. All right. So then what we do to look further into this is that we want to see what Venus, the moon, Chiron, it is when it is in a nice aspect, which it is in this chart. It is, and something we've kind of been talking about recently, it's not just wounds or marks or tattoos or anything like that. I mean, it does mean that, but it can also mean something that makes you feel better if it's in good aspect, which it is. And so there's a feel good content that we have coming, it looks like. I'm not sure what it is, but there's one thing. We also have a nice part of fortune here in the 11th house, and it's in Leo, which is the kings, and London and England. We've got trines, we've got sextiles, and we've got Jupiter up there in the 9th house of the press. So what does it say about us? I think that we're going to be talking probably about something that could be English, could be French, or it could be about the royals. That is, I guess, correct. I don't know what it is, but it's going to go well. Let's just say that.
Okay.
And then the other thing too, what I love about this chart is it's always nice to have a trine with Uranus, because what is it? Uranus shows a prediction. It shows the future. So what we could be talking about right now could be a prediction, maybe a good prediction of something. I mean, Libra is musicians. It's the beauty industry. It's legal law, 7th house, and it's relationships. So there's that. I couldn't help but think that Uranus is, this is all right here in the Jewish part of the chart.
Right.
So we're going to probably, and I know we are because I got a slide, we're going to be talking about the latest on, not just real short, about the 2 embassy workers, Israeli embassy workers. So, and there they are, just a beautiful couple. Notice that we were talking last week about 2 people, and I believe there was some Leo that was aspecting it. And Sarah Lynn Milgram, she would have that kind of Leo, I would say, profile. So moving on real quick, we are looking at a lot of Pisces, which is a flood. We're looking at a lot of Uranus, which can mean escape or making some type of active independence. It's a breakout. It is a break, which is what Uranus is.
Right.
So, so there's that. And then the other thing too is, what is all that Pisces? It's all that jewelry. It's tons and tons and tons of jewelry. So the first thing I wanted to ask you was, we've already seen this with Louisiana, all of those prisoners. And I don't know if all of them are still at large yet. I don't know the latest on that, but was that episode of these prisoner escapees was that an omen for something bigger. And these could be also, they could be lots of maybe Russian refugees. Somebody is getting let out, and they've been in there a long time, and it looks like a lot of them.
Yeah.
Who could they be?
The Hanged Man, the Four of Wands, that's a reunion, and after isolation. So it could be someone being brought home, set free.
Yeah. And we've been seeing that a lot. There have been prisoner exchanges and this and that. My next question to you is are these a bunch of people breaking out of an even bigger prison?
Could be a spy, someone accused of spying. Also, the spy thing is large. Let's see. This is wide and vast, the Fool card. Yeah.
Strange how it's females that you're getting. So I wonder if they could be a bunch of women, maybe because, enslaved people.
Yeah.
Could be
at the bottom.
Sometimes it's good. Sometimes people are wrongly accused and they get their freedom. Other times it's like, oh crap, what are we going to do now? The prisoners are loose. Okay, thanks, Buckeye. I knew you would know. 5 captured, 5 still on the run. Omen is sheriff may get fired. Thank you. I would say, yeah.
We lost a deputy locally who was leaving the local prison. And he was in an accident, and he was a deputy at a correctional facility. It was huge news, leaving the prison, and perished in a car accident.
And then what is this? The toilet escape. Oh, was it a toilet escape? Oh my God, that would have been Plutonian. Oh. Interesting. And then, of course, we're talking, Trump is talking all about this Alcatraz redo. So we're seeing that. Thank you, Shauna, for saying that. Yes, prisoner release from Russia. Mark Fogel, a teacher of my sister-in-law's brother, happened finally. Oh my God. Wow. That's amazing. That's great news. And Jewish prisoners released. Yeah, that's possible. Hey, Shelley. Okay, now let me get back to the escape, and it should be news of it's either they're going to be let out and it's voluntary, or they could we get one more card? Yeah. Are they going to sneak out? Are they going to break out?
It feels like, this is people working together. This is a group. This is a team effort. So is it a guard that little spy card, like an inside someone? I didn't let them out. I don't know.
That's strange because that's the same scenario that they're having in Louisiana, that a guard let them out.
Oh, that's what this tells me.
Okay. So same kind of thing. Okay. So going to this, all the jewelry, all the Pisces, and then we have quite a strong aspect to Uranus and what else? A couple of other planets where it's like a flood. I can tell you. Where is it? Okay, yeah. Pluto, Saturn, Uranus. This is also, and you were talking about an old library, but it can also represent museums. So this energy is very antique, very, very old valuables. And that could also be leaving the building. So do you see something that is coming up in the short term of a big, either a museum heist or a jewelry heist?
Well, when you say leaving the building, the 7 of Swords is what I pulled from the tarot deck. And I thought, okay, that's a little, deception. Someone, it's a thief, someone getting away, escaping. Yeah, the Queen of Cups, look at that crown. She's surrounded by, valuables and.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you think there could be a woman behind it?
Maybe. Look at this too. That old staircase. Like, it makes me think again of a museum staircase, something in the basement. At the same time, I just saw this beam of light coming up from, at the bottom of the staircase.
It's a flashlight, of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting. Now let's. What?
It could be a college too.
Okay.
Something with, because it has underneath that card, it has an image of an equation.
Oh.
Makes me think of like Goodwill Hunting, like an old university or college or something. That could be a museum as well.
Okay. Good to know. Now, so this is this week's chart, and we're now in Capricorn. Capricorn, as a chart ruler, has, as every sign does, its positives and negatives. In a good way, it means to return. So returning to the homeland because we escaped from prison could be one of those types of examples. It means usually Capricorns are extremely knowledgeable and very, very responsible. So, and also seeing something to the end, which in this day and age is very hard to come by. So it can be very, very good. However, I'm looking at something here and where is it? No. All right. I'm looking at a square to Venus. I think it's somewhere in my deck here. And well, thank you, Shauna. Thank you for being a member for 20 months. That's amazing. Now, Venus in Aries is at 18 degrees. This is a very angry woman. And it's almost like she's mean.
Yeah.
And there's something that's going on. She's being stopped. It's in the second house. This is financial. And this might have something to do with a very wealthy woman who has red hair. I'm thinking of like a Leona Helmsley type, even though you'd have to have a little more Saturn to show an older woman, although it is squaring Capricorn. So could it be some kind of an older woman that's in the news? And I want to say it's maybe on Monday.
The only other two astrological cards that I drew were the Capricorn and the 10th house card.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm going to show the 10th house card in a moment, but it's about reputation.
Okay.
Let's see who this is. 10 of Cups. The Death card just popped out on the bottom. Why do we get this? There's that Venus. I have a couple cards here that kind of gave me a sense of someone who is like a couple like coming back together, reuniting, or like it's a shocking partnership where people have been broken up for a very long time and they're coming back together.
Okay.
I don't know what that is, but it's a woman. One more.
Is she a good woman or a bad woman?
As you said that. That's the Capricorn card.
That's 18 too. Yeah, both.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And this Capricorn card from the astrological deck has those horns.
Oh my God.
It is, it's interesting. I was thinking about a royal woman because look at this card with the two thrones at the top of the red carpet behind in front of a castle. And it's someone prominent in the public eye, well-known, has a reputation. Taylor Swift, Blake Lively. Maybe we're seeing something this week more. We don't want to see, but lots of angry headlines, maybe. Yeah, from the past. So yeah, it's so funny, Gibson, that you said that. And thank you so much for your tips. We really appreciate it. Brad and Angelina, it's interesting because the last time Venus was in Aries was around the time that Brad took off with Angelina, and you could see that Venus in Aries really activated in Jen's chart.
Yeah.
And
so of course she would have been very angry, and so that kind of energy comes in sometimes.
Yeah.
And all right, now. So Capricorn, on the whole, like when we were in the Sagittarius time frame, it was a lot about colleges and Harvard and that type of thing. Was there? Can't remember if there were churches or not. Yeah, the Pope,
The Pope.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so now we're in Capricorn. Capricorn can mean something that's cold. I believe there's a nor'easter that's coming in the U.S. like cold.
Really strange. Yes.
So weird.
Almost
And let me think. Also, if you're thinking about like emotions, it's kind of like a lower vibration sometimes when you have some type of a poor aspect there. And it could be sadness about a female dying. Because Capricorn could be death. Could you tell us if there's a female that there's some kind of an announcement that maybe a female has passed?
10 of Swords. You're not coming back from the 10 of Swords. That's something, yeah. I mean, it's a woman. I've seen this card before that's very similar to the death card.
Okay.
Where it's,
so maybe some kind of.
And there's that female on the bottom. Like a heart attack.
Yes. Yeah, something like that. Inga, thank you so much. You were so sweet. I really appreciate that. And that's right. King Charles is coming to Canada on May 26th and 27th to give a speech from the throne. He's opening Parliament. Yes. Okay. And Andrew remarries Fergie, the famous redhead. But I would hope it would be happier than this.
Yeah.
We will see. Now, independence. We're talking about independence. And then this coming week, there's all of the Piscean energy. This is somebody I think this is, again, somebody I want to say drag, but it's not drag. It's some kind of, it could be a uniform, somebody who's faking something. And it's in a second house, which is money. And you're seeing this little triangle here, which is Uranus. They get the money, they get the jewels, and then they get the heck out of there. What's funny is because of all of this, I mean, it's not funny, but Mercury is conjunct Uranus. This is faster than fast. This is almost like, oh, you know what this is? You know what this reminds me of? Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible. So this could actually be just a movie that's coming out about things that have to do with planes and very fast things. But yet at the same time, I think Mission Impossible could be another omen.
Yeah.
And so you can see there's Saturn is old. Pisces is the moon. Saturn is old. Neptune is a movie.
Right.
North node is like fakey fake,
Right.
And so this is something that is kind of like an old franchise that's coming out. And if you see that little aspect, I mean, this is pretty strong. You can see how there is a sextile to Uranus, which is, I mean, it's going to really take off. This is going to be a big one.
Yeah.
And with Mercury right there, it's one of a group. It's a twin of something. So this is the 8th, by the way, installment. So a Scorpio number. So really fast, but at the same time, and I saw this with Minority Report and a bunch of other movies. When you have a movie that is very prophetic, you're going to see Uranus in a really nice place, which it is here. So it looks like, oh, by the way, what's the movie about? It's about AI. AI is the evil villain.
Right.
There are submarines in there, lots of water types of action scenes. And of course, him escaping and flying and all of those things.
Yeah.
But there is a square here too. Jupiter, and I know this isn't royal related, but it's a good little lesson. Whenever we have a square to Gemini, we're talking about lots of gossip or some type of thief. So is there, just for fun, I wanted to ask you, is somebody stealing money from this franchise?
Well, I mean, I do have the Seven of Swords as our main energy. First things we'll talk about, which is a thief. But let me get another one for that question. Yes. Oh my gosh. The devil again. Deviousness.
Wow.
And it's, it takes a toll on people. That Nine of Swords is definitely like people up at night, pacing the floors, concerned about it. Yes, look, someone running away again, escaping with something. And that Knight of Swords is information, it's documents, it's Mercury. It's like a text messages or something. Or emails. Maybe something around the production is.
Maybe somebody took money or is being accused of taking money, or there could be some kind of like, oh God, hold on, hold the phone here. Let's see. So if we have Gemini, which is gossip, and poorly aspected, which is down here, would be a thief, but Neptune is a scandal. So it's an old scandal, could be Scientology coming back, where somebody from Scientology, the cult, is they're thinking now would be the time to release something. So hopefully Mission Impossible can move on without any problems. And just quickly, this is a Minority Report. It's a chart when it opened, and you can see Uranus down there in Aquarius. And I put these dates here, 1998 to 2021. That's when Neptune was moving through Aquarius. And what does Neptune mean? Neptune is a film.
Yeah.
So it would not surprise me if you did a study of movies from 1998 to 2021 that they would be particularly prophetic. So there's the slide I was looking for a few minutes ago. There's the woman. We might even see not just a redheaded woman. Hopefully, it's nobody wearing red, but it could be someone wearing red. And here's Prince William's birth chart. I wanted to just show you really quickly. Isn't it funny how his ascendant, which rules your identity, it is in Sagittarius, which represents a bridge. So Duke of Cambridge.
Yes.
Really? Amazing. And let's see. Yeah, Prince of Wales too. You got Neptune in there.
Yeah.
Neptune in Sag is ruled by Jupiter, which is big. So a big fish. So now we're looking at Prince Williams, and I just want to say hello real quick. Hello, Claire. You're from County Meath, Ireland. I hope I said that right. So nice to have you. And Caroline, you said, I just saw a crazy Tom Cruise interview on Fallon where he's talking about doing his own stunts and showing video of him hanging in one arm on a fly wing in the air. That would be definitely Aquarius, like live wire.
Yeah.
So thank you, Vicki, and I hope you have a great weekend. All right, now, so this is his solar return chart, and we've got Mercury here. So let's talk about that first. Mercury is a report, an announcement, and this is right. It could be right on his birthday, and let's see. I'm trying to think. Because there's North Node in Pisces, this could be a secret announcement that maybe doesn't come out yet, but we've got the announcement around his birthday. And let's look at the calendar right there. This is his birthday. And then we can also go to the sign that Mercury represents to see a time frame. So that could be probably in the September time frame, Mercury activates. So we're going to really see a lot of news about Prince William. It's at 22 degrees. So we've spoken about this before, but maybe I'll ask a different question. This is a pretty famous announcement, and it has to do with a very wealthy female because of Venus in Taurus. What is that all about?
Let's see. Announcement. Card. I can't get away from this card. the Hermit, the Sun. It's a good announcement. But you know what? The Hermit can be hairy, isolated, but it's, this is vibrancy and reunions and coming together. And then this, I have to say, this card, I don't know why it stands out to me so much, but look at the cameras that are aimed at those thrones. That's like all eyes, the world watching this announcement.
Definitely.
And that is a woman there in the Sun card.
That's true. And we also have the twin too. It's like
the two of cups.
Right. So, and also if we were to remember that the first house is your identity. So you're talking about your identity and what is it's weird that his ascendant is Meghan Markle's birth chart or natal ascendant. So, I mean, it can just mean a lot of fame. It can mean nurturing. It's a water sign. It's very emotional. So with Mercury is your mindset. So maybe, are we going to see, I can't ask that question. I was going to say something about emotion with Prince William, but Mercury is too. So, and it also shows that he's going to gain 2 titles on his birthday or the maybe 3 months in.
Yeah.
And then what I wanted to do real quick is also go to the 7th house here. And that's Princess Catherine. And she's in, or the descendant is in Capricorn, right? And so we would look at Saturn up here with Neptune. This is going to be complicated. This is going to be amazing on the one hand, but there's a scandal on the other. Because anytime you're talking about like really famous people and you have a square to Neptune, especially in a solar return chart, you're kind of having to work around a scandal. And we know that they've got plenty of those. North Node, when you see, as a reminder, that's when you see that in your solar return, that's what you're going to gain this year. So Prince William is definitely gaining something, but there's somebody foreign here that either his career is going to take a step back from, or Princess Catherine, there's some kind of it's a clash with someone who's foreign. Who is this person? It's Jupiter in his 12th house. Jupiter rules the 10th house of government as well as career. And it also represents the 6th house of coworkers and hidden enemies. But this is somebody who's really clashing, and it's a big deal to Princess Catherine particularly. What do you think?
This is the first card that came out again.
Unbelievable.
I mean, could that be Meghan? I mean, she is foreign to them. The Hierophant. Actually, it could be someone on her staff, someone that works with her, someone in her circle of people. I feel like is it like a woman betrays her at work.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. It looks like somebody who's very wealthy, but
Yes. Yeah. The Ace of Pentacles. Lots of money.
So funny you get these cards right as I'm reading the chart. Nuts. Okay. But here's the other thing. This person look at that, to his 3rd house, Prince William. And then, I mean, this guy it's a famous guy. Jupiter or gal, I don't know, because it is Cancer. Jupiter sextile the moon is very famous. And it's some kind of 3rd house would be transportation or something local or a communication. And it's really like helping. It's helping him out. So it almost looks like somebody really wants to help Prince William, but for some reason there's an obstruction with Princess Catherine, whether she can't or she won't.
Mm.
So maybe it's a pregnancy, maybe it's she doesn't trust that person, but at the same time, it could also be a betrayal, like you said.
Hmm.
Let's see where the betrayals are. I always like to look at Pluto, and
Mhm.
Pluto is in a T square. Yikes! With a square to Black Moon Lilith. He's
Mm.
going to be. That's a whole other show, but it's not all year. It's only a couple months out of the year, and he'll be able to
Hmm.
get through it. He's going to be really excited about quite a few things. Why? Because he's got a stellium with part of fortune, which is
Yeah.
very, very
Very
successful, and he's going to be seen as very successful. It's almost like, is there a chance that people could see him as saving someone or being like a hero?
Hmm. Well, let's see. Those initial cards, I could see that. Yes, someone reliable. Huh. I keep getting that water. That 6 of maybe save someone from the
Yeah.
water.
Yeah, or like a Navy thing,
Yeah.
because of that Pisces. Okay. Okay. And real quick, we've got, looks like 2 people actually. There's, I don't know who they are, but, and you got the Lover's card, did you? Or no, the
2 of Cups.
2 cups. Yeah. So there are 2 people,
And
and
the
they,
2 of Cups has 2 races in this deck where it's 2 different races coming together.
okay.
So
Yeah. And it's kind of like, it's sort of like watch your back this year with
Yeah.
these 2 people. So, and I almost think with it's, I'm just putting this together now, with Princess Catherine being Capricorn. So she's Saturn this year in his solar return chart. And natally, she's also a Capricorn, but you put that together with Neptune, and that's somebody who's very, very psychic. So whoever represents Capricorn or who is Saturn in your chart, in your solar return year,
yeah.
that person is going to be very psychic this year. And so maybe she's trying to tap into something, being very intuitive, and it's not good for Prince William. He wants to do his own thing. Hello, Angel D. And hey, Meg. Jen, you said the firm. Yeah, the firm is definitely in there. Maybe some people behind the scenes in the firm. And also, we always talk about Nikola from Serbia because he's so awesome. And God rest his soul because he's no longer with us. But he would always talk about Cancer and how Cancer represents domestic things, domestic issues. So could have something to do with that. King Charles 2425. We are going mid-June. This is around Prince William's birthday. It's a little bit before Prince William's birthday on the 21st. The ruler of the month for King Charles is going to change from Mercury ruling Gemini, and it's going to go to the moon. Mercury and Gemini does represent an announcement. So we go to Mercury and we try to investigate and see what's going on. Like, okay, what is this?
Yeah.
And there it is. There's some kind of announcement there where there's a T square, and it looks like King Charles does not want anything about this announcement. He doesn't want anything to do with it. Then once you get to a little bit later on in June, there it is. There's a stop. There's like, no, we are not doing that. Has to do with a twin too. Maybe it's a situation that was similar to some other situation. Then we move on to the moon. And then that's when the moon gets activated. It's in this T square. It's going to be hard. Whatever these announcements are, it's going to be very, very difficult for King Charles. And Mars in King Charles's chart represents Prince William. So something here is inflaming, and it has to do with a family disagreement. Could this family disagreement be based on this announcement that's coming out?
Let's see. 2 of Swords, Queen of Swords. That is someone who wants to make the announcement or does, but there's like you said, there's a block to doing it, or there's a tug of war is kind of what I'm seeing, a tug of war. Oh, there's a disagreement about what is true. This feels like something very true, but they're like being held back from saying something that is true. There's a lot of truth in these cards. Knight of Wands. Someone might want to say something honestly, this Knight of Wands is very Leo energy. This is a player. Somebody, and I keep getting that reputation thing. I don't know, maybe it's about something around his reputation with women.
And you nailed it. Look, Mars in Leo. Mars is good for Leos often because it just shows ambition, going for the gold, winning,
Right.
Sometimes winning at all costs, depending on the aspect. But it'll be nice when Mars comes out of Leo for some, because all that being infuriated is going to go away to some extent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wonder if we're going to see some type of Leo type, yet at the same time, it is inflaming. It is a fire.
Yeah.
And I do worry about these fires in these castles. Fourth house, I'm looking at the fourth. It doesn't really say too much about King Charles, but could you tell us anything about royal property that is at risk of fire damage?
Okay, so the two cards that I haven't shared might make sense. No Place Like Home and Never Ending Story. Is it a repeat of home, something that's happened before where there's been a fire? Was that Windsor? Where was the fire?
There were a couple of them. Yeah, it was Windsor. Hello, Linda.
Yes, it's like two. It's like the second one of fire in the home. The devil again. Something old, Saturn.
No, it's like in the past, it was like, in the old days, it was lighting candles. But then there's also electrical, which is Aquarius, and like an electrical type of short.
I was going to say electrical because I saw the sun card, and I did have a little bit of a renovation, like if they're renovating something. And
Buckingham.
Oh. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's ask, can we ask a yes or no about Buckingham?
Yes. Let's see. I mean, it's a yes card to a yes, no question in the upright. Justice.
I wonder why justice. Maybe that means that somebody's doing something on purpose, because arson is really in the sky right now,
Well, it's also about balance, and it's a 2, right? You're balancing 2 scales. So I feel like maybe it's that, it has to make it better. Okay. Insurance, it's such a strange thing. Something around a renovation might spark something.
Okay, one more thing I forgot to ask you. I said we were going to do a 45-minute show today because I'm trying to condense our content a little over the summer, at least, to give us a break. But this is just too good. Can you tell us some good news that maybe England will be experiencing this week?
Okay, for this week. Oh, that could not look any better. Okay, this week is like people are doing things because they have the money to do it. There's travel, there's, growth, there's financial stability. Things are kind of easy and flowing. Transportation is on par. Your train is on time. Your car is, tuned up and ready to hit the road. It feels like going somewhere. It's like short distance travel.
That's good. Yeah. And I know with all of the Brexit conversations, that's one of the missions is to end the lines for travel, because travel season is upon us. So so exactly. Angels, so much fire. Well, we will have to see, but thank you all to those of you all across the world. Really, we're so surprised at how many countries are represented on these shows. And thank you again, Amber.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right.
Have a great weekend.
We will. Yes. Have a great holiday weekend to the Americans, and we'll see you next week.
See you next
Thanks.
week.